held it down, so she got a Mercedes. Your money records, the army, the navy. They ran me 10,000, I threw it like Brady. The foreign is yellow like Tracy and Katie. I trust in my
Guys, so this is where Deku was a leprechaun, leprechaun St. Patrick's Day special. Now guys, basically I will be spreading this what if out into 3 parts. First part is going to be introducing, Deku's origins, his, how he's a leprechaun, and also Deku is going to be, introducing the fighting and the internship. So whatever. Basically, I'm going to try to end the what if off in at least 3 parts, so each part will be pretty long. So yeah, so basically guys, let's say lay back, relax, and enjoy. Now the what ifs will be spread out in a span of like a week or 2, because after this video I'm gonna be going on vacation. So I know it's spring break, but I'm gonna be going to Virginia to visit my grandparents and stuff like that. So yeah guys, let's get into it. Basically, Deku will be born into a family of, you guessed it, leprechauns. Basically, Deku's mom and dad would be leprechauns in this universe. Now, basically, Deku's mom and dad don't have green hair. They actually have green. They actually have red. They have yellow or red hair. They have orange or red hair, depending on what you call ginger-haired or redhead people. Pretty much, Deku's mom and dad are, redheads, and all leprechauns in this universe are going to be redheads. If you have red hair, you're either a leprechaun or not. Now, basically, other mystical creatures exist in the realm of, this world. Only 3 other races other than leprechauns that exist in this world are elves, trolls, werewolves, witches, and vampires. Now, vampires only live in Germany and, Russia. That's mainly where the most vampires are in. Only 1% of Japan's population are vampires. Now, people know about these mystical creatures, and they live in harmony with people with quirks. Because people know if you have a quirk, you can defend yourself against these creatures that, if they did try to go rapid and kill humans again. Now, basically, leprechauns in this universe are going to be kind of like warlocks or kind of like witches. Basically, leprechauns in this universe are going to all have red hair, but they do look exactly like human. Basically, kind of like the Luck of the Irish type of thing, that they can pass as human as long as they have their luck. Basically, Deku's luck is internal. Deku's mother used a little bit of magic, because leprechauns aren't witches or warlocks or wizards like that, but they can use small-time, magic. Like, all of them are born with pretty much a muscle memory spell that they'll naturally just learn on their own, that can unlock any lock, and I mean any lock, a lock to literally the gates of heaven. They can unlock it. So basically, they can unlock anything with just looking at it or twinkling their fingers towards it. They also can imbue objects with their luck. Now, basically, Deku's mother basically gave Deku a charm of luck, but she engraved it or, infused it with Deku's biology. So basically, the coin of luck that's in Deku's family is in Deku's heart. Basically, Deku will learn how to take it out using some magic without killing himself and give it to his child, because the youngest member of the pretty much leprechaun lineage has to carry on the pretty much luck, or else not else, just they just have to carry on the luck so they can imbue some power of the luck permanently in their body, so they'll be able to pass as human even without the charm of luck. Basically, Deku's charm of luck is basically just a pure gold coin with the ingrates of Deku's family name, the Midoriyas. Pretty much, these leprechauns moved to Japan instead of America, and basically they made a family name of themselves. Basically, all leprechauns have the ability to unlock any type of lock. They also have the ability to make any type of shoes. That was one power. That was the main focus that I looked up on Google. They can make and mend shoes. Don't know what mend means. And also they can teleport, I think, and also they have superhuman strength and agility. Now, Deku isn't short like a leprechaun. The older you get, the shorter you get in leprechaun years, but leprechauns can live pretty much thousands of years. So basically, the time Deku starts growing facial hair or even starts getting shorter, he would probably outlive pretty much everybody in Class 1A and their children. So yeah. So basically, Deku has to, integrate with another leprechaun race, or else he'll outlive his lover. So that's pretty, outrageous. So basically, Deku. Now, basically, guys, who should I turn into a leprechaun so Deku could be shipped with that character? Now, I think I should make Momo a leprechaun. Now, basically, leprechauns, if they're breeded with quirk people, leprechauns can have all the leprechaun powers and also the looks, but also have a quirk as well. So making them super leprechaun, but yeah, again, the parents would go into heartbreak because your dad or your mom were humans. They would die if they didn't have an immortality quirk. So basically, Deku will have immortality. Now, basically, leprechauns in this universe will have superhuman healing, but not to a point of vampire. Basically, they can heal about 10 times faster than the average human. Basically, heal. Let's say, for instance, they break a bone. It takes about a week for their bone to re-heal or to heal fully. So basically, they basically just start to engrave. Now, basically, Deku's mom and dad are going to be owning a part of the land and be basically just farmers. Now, leprechauns can also use magic to grow pretty much, plants and pretty much control wildlife, kind of like poison ivy. So basically, to be honest, they have immortality, superhuman healing, increased stamina, strength, and agility. Also, they have red hair and they can unlock any lock. And also, they have the ability to make and mend shoes. I don't know what mend is. I'm gonna Google that later. I don't know if mend means deconstruct or reconstruct or make it harder. Yeah. So basically, Deku will be, and also they have like a stupid amount of luck. Basically, Deku's luck is going to be off the charts because the luck charm in his family is engraved into his biology. So Deku's going to have a lot of luck. Now, basically, I did say earlier that leprechauns can learn small time magic, not big spells, but enough to go past. Now, they'll learn enough magic they'll win in a magic fight if they could use it, in creative ways, like how they can make some green fire spells or something like that. But Deku, you can choose if Deku should, be able to use any type of other magic other than unlocking magic, and I'm pretty sure the only magic Deku has is unlocking magic. So yeah. So basically, Deku can also unlock quirks. Lock the Pro Hero lock in the Overhaul arc. Deku can unlock anything he locks in seconds. So yeah, so it works on quirks as well. Let's say someone has a power to lock a quirk. Deku can unlock the quirk. Basically, stuff like that. So basically, Deku, is born into the leprechaun family. Deku was born with, green eyes and red hair, like all leprechauns are. And Deku is, pretty much raised like in his family. Deku's raised in combat because in this universe, Deku's family, they own a very, very big, farm chain going around the whole entire world, making them pretty much rich AF. Basically, they're pretty much the 50% of pretty much food, milk, and pretty much all sorts of dairy products in the world. And their brand is pretty much everywhere, and I mean everywhere. Like, if you walk, in this universe, if you walked into the store, grabbed a bar, grabbed some milk, it would have Midoriya's name just plastered on there, just fine printed. So basically, Deku grows up, in luxury, kind of like how Momo is. Basically, Deku, is encouraged to marry in the future a leprechaun woman or somebody that could, possibly live as long as him. So basically, Deku, basically, trains in combat. Because leprechauns with no combat skill, they can't really use their superhuman agility or speed fully. Because they're not superhuman, but they are about 10 times faster, stronger, and better than a human without a quirk. Basically, Deku can hold his own with somebody with a strength enhanced quirk. So basically, Deku, well, also leprechauns do have attractable claws. I'm taking some of that from, the leprechaun horror movies. Leprechauns do have retractable claws, but only 5% of them do. Now, Deku does have retractable claws, but his claws, when they're attracted, or, when they're attracted, outwards, they turn red, or something. They turn, like, orange. So it's kind of weird. So basically, they're, pit back into nail form. They're just, normal nails. So basically, Deku will also be able, and also I said Deku can control, plant life. So that's another power that Deku has, and also Deku can use what's it called? He can also use something about in the that he can also use music magic to pretty much disorientate other leprechauns by using a flute to make them dance until they can't or they pass out. So if any type of person has some sort of long dormant leprechaun gene in their body, Deku can control them with a flute. Now basically, Deku can also imbue other items with his luck. Now basically, Deku's luck is basically kind of like how Domino's probability manipulation. Deku can get money off the floor, like thousands of dollars on the floor, just pick it up. Deku pretty much, luck is on his side in all costs. Even if it's impossible, Deku will find a way in the power of luck. Now basically, Deku was a no problem child. Deku was a leprechaun, meaning that he wasn't really quirkless or had a quirk. So Deku would be equals with Bakugo, because everybody in the world knows about mystical creatures, and I did explain, the mystical creatures that are in this world. But basically, Bakugo, is very, good friends with Deku, but Deku moves to another school, pretty much to Ita's school. Pretty much, Ida and Todoroki's. I mean, I'm pretty sure Todoroki was homeschooled. Yeah, I think he was homeschooled. And Todoroki went to a school. He wasn't homeschooled. So basically, Momo, Todoroki, and Ida were in the same school, and Deku, became friends with him. Now, basically, Deku did get a connection with Momo, and basically started to flirt with her. About to ask her out until the whole entire internships, or, until the entrance exam rolled along. Now, Deku got a sponsorship because of his parents were so, big and rich, and some of Deku's relatives were pro heroes. So basically, Deku got a recommendation and got in there the same way that Todoroki and Momo did, and basically, get a pretty good score all along. Now, basically, Deku does bump into the tornado guy, like how Todoroki. Now, Deku and Todoroki are actually close friends, and Deku doesn't know about Todoroki's, family, and does despise Endeavor because of it. So basically, Deku was kind of like, best friends with Todoroki, kind of like brothers. And basically, Deku and Todoroki, Momo, and Ida go to UA after the, recommendations. And they go to UA. They walk into class 1A and they sit down. Pretty much they're talking, and a couple other students, walk in, and pretty much they start, talking, blah, 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 and Deku, sees a girl walk in with red hair. Now, pretty much Deku's confused. It says, a leprechaun? Pretty much a girl walks in, and it's Kendo. Kendo is going to be replacing Mineta. Now, guys, I don't know if I should, actually, scratch it. I'm going to do a harem type of thing. Momo and Kendo are going to be fighting over Deku. And Momo already has a crush on Deku. She's just waiting for Deku to, give her the go so they can start dating. Pretty much, Deku, kind of gets feelings for this other girl because she has, red hair. And it's a 50% chance that she might be a leprechaun. Because if you have red hair in this universe, you're automatically placed as a leprechaun unless you don't show any leprechaun abilities. and you're just a quirkless person with, natural red hair, like a ginger person. Now, basically, Deku walks towards her and asking, about to ask, "Are you a leprechaun?" But Azal walks in the class and explains to the class we're doing quirk assessments. They go outside and Deku took to throw the ball first. Deku grabs the ball and pretty much uses a little bit of pretty much luck magic to make himself a little bit more stronger, throwing it pretty far, making a bird fly in the way and pretty much elevate the ball farther, using a little bit of luck on his side. Now basically, Deku can't turn off his luck. He can't. Literally, he can't. Now basically, for the long jump, Deku gets over it pretty fast. The race, pretty much everybody's laces, luckily just tie up so Deku can, run in front of everybody. Pretty much Todoroki and Ida just use some of their engines and their ice to propel themselves up, not putting their feet in front of each other. Basically, Ida jumping up in the air and using his booster effects to pretty much fly himself in the air, and Todoroki just making a huge ice, berg behind him, propelling himself forward. And Deku just running, pretty much getting a pretty good score, getting 3rd place. Now, in all together, Deku gets 2nd place, Todoroki gets 1st place, and pretty much Bakugo gets 4th place, and Bakugo gets 3rd place, and Ida gets 4th place. Momo gets the same place that she got in canon, and the same thing goes for everybody else, just lowered down a point. Basically, yeah, so Deku gets a pretty good score altogether. Now everybody is told to go back home, and Deku goes back home. Tells his parents about his day, and pretty much they say, nice. And pretty much, Deku didn't have enough time to ask Kendo if she was a leprechaun. Pretty much Deku told his parents about it, and pretty much they said, is she a leprechaun or not? Pretty much Deku says, I don't know. And basically, they just start talking, Deku goes to sleep. The next day, Deku goes back to UA and walks into class 1A. Pretty much, they're sitting there having a pretty normal class day. Deku about to ask Kendo if she's a leprechaun in lunch, but when they go back in class, Deku didn't have enough time, and All Might shows up in class. Pretty much all my expenses in the class are doing quirk assessment, they get quirk training or quirk combat training, and they get ready and they get handed their hero costumes. Now basically Deku's hero costume is going to be kind of different. Now, Deku's hero costume is going to be something like this. Basically more tactical, and Deku also has, 2 pretty much steel batons that can pretty much fold into themselves, making them into batons or staves. Now, basically, Deku also has a more tactical gear. Now, that symbol is actually just a pure green plate. Yeah, basically it. Now, basically, Deku's mask is like kind of like a Spider-Man type of thing, or kind of like a Flash type of thing. That if he takes his mask off, it can fold behind his neck, so Deku's face will be exposed. Now, basically, Deku's mask will pretty much 50% of the time would never be on. So just imagine Deku's redhead face right there. And basically, everybody comes Deku on his hero costume, and pretty much Deku gets ready. And basically, Deku gets started, and everybody, gets ready. Now, basically, Deku and everybody else gets started, and Deku's teamed up with Ochaku, and basically Ida's teamed up with Bakugo. They go into class, and Bakugo does kind of recognize Deku because he can't forget about the red hair. And basically, Bakugo, definitely, isn't really good friends with Deku, because Deku did move when they were about, 4 years old, before Bakugo developed his quirk. So Bakugo didn't really know Deku that much, and just didn't care. He just wanted to beat Deku. Basically, Deku told Ochaku to go up there and hold off Ida while I take down Bakugo. Basically, Deku sprints off down the hallways and walking and running and running. Deku's running and running and running, and he comes across Bakugo. Bakugo throws a huge explosion towards Deku. Basically, Deku dodges the explosion and sprints towards Bakugo with his silver batons in hand. Running towards Bakugo at full speed, throwing, batons left and right, and pretty much hitting him in his knees. Dodging all the explosions, every single last of them, even punches that Bakugo throws that can't even be dodged, Bakugo just misses. Because, Deku's dumb, stupid, strong, and pretty much OP luck. Deku, taking Bakugo by the throat and throwing him through a wall, cause Deku uses a little bit of his luck to make the wall pretty much, you know, be crumbled a little bit, because it's been there for years. Pretty much Bakugo gets thrown through the wall, and Deku jumps through the wall, pretty much taking out his batons, and pretty much beating the absolute snot out of Bakugo. Bakugo throws an explosion at Deku, landing it, and also pushing Deku out the hole that Bakugo was thrown into the building, through the wall in. Deku gets back up, healing pretty fast, and getting back up. Deku gets into a fighting position, where Bakugo gets into a fighting position. Bakugo pretty much pulls both of his pins on his gauntlets and shoots him right towards Deku. Deku gets pushed back into about 3 walls, almost getting knocked out, but Deku using a little bit of his, lock magic to pretty much unlock the grenades that are on Bakugo's, pretty much hips, blowing Bakugo into a wall, knocking him out. Not hurting him, but just, propelling him upwards into the ceiling, knocking him out. Now, basically, Deku gets back up, putting his mask on, going stealthy, and pretty much, using a little bit of his, leprechaun speed and abilities in his claws to pretty much hook on top of the ceiling, going Spider-Man style. Eventually, sneaking into the room with no problems, going through a window, and pretty much, sneaking in there pretty fast, going on top of the ceiling, and Ida pretty much starting to, and pretty much seeing that Ochaku and Ida are going at it. Deku pretty much jumps on a couple pieces of rubber that are, levitating towards the bomb where Ida's running, and pretty much throws a baton right at Ida's leg, making Ida trip, and Deku grabbing the bomb as Ida falls down. And pretty much the hero team winning. Now basically Deku and Ochaku, celebrate, and pretty much they say good, good teamwork. And I'm gonna leave it off here, guys. Actually, no, scratch it. I'm not gonna leave it off here. So basically Deku, after that, Deku goes, back home after that, and Deku actually does ask Kendo if she's a leprechaun. Now, Kendo doesn't, say directly, just says, "You'll find out," and pretty much walks off from Deku. Deku's confused, but pretty much just walks back home. Now, I'm going to leave it off here, guys. Now, guys, I want to ask you 3 questions that you guys must please, guys, answer in the comments. Now, basically, I am going to be shipping Kendo and Momo with Bakugo, Deku, but should Kendo be a leprechaun? And also, guys, should it be a werewolf or a vampire or any type of other mystical creature in the class 1A? So, yeah. So, guys, hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you guys have a blessed day, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Now, part 2 and 3 will be coming later this week, but yeah, guys, see you guys later. Bye, deuces.